Did you not just... She blacked out.
Yeah, it was...
I thought she was dead.
It's because you passed outside the coverage area.
Have you tried espresso grande? The beans are roasted slow.
Okay, this season started off pretty crazy. Season 7, episode 1 just released of Black Mirror. So today we're gonna break down the episode and what the ending was pretty much about and ending explained. So if you guys don't mind, make sure to click on the subscribe, like, turn notifications on. But enough of the talking, let's just get straight into the video. So, as always, I like to do a quick recap of the whole episode. So, the episode starts with this title, The Common People. We see the notification and the phone style, so we know that it's around 2025, maybe 2030. The main character is a teacher, and she's pretty chill, so is her husband. Nothing bad about them, they're pretty chill. One little Easter egg was here is Juniper. Juniper, like the other season, where Juniper, where they go and the afterlife, etc. There's a website where it's called Dumb Dummies, where people make money, foreshadowing kind of where streamers make money, kind of doing things for money. Here they tell him, hey, your wife has something going on with her brain. They offer him a thing where his wife is gonna be able to do a procedure which allows his wife to be pretty much alive. Without this procedure, his wife pretty much would have gone down in a coma and probably died. It's kind of sad. So we're definitely getting a lot of things from season 1 and season 3 from this whole episode. It's pretty crazy. We also see that a lot of people do know about the website where you make dumb things to get money. Later on in the episode, we see that she starts sleeping more. They go back and forth to the offices where she got the procedure, explaining her that, everything is going well and how it works. The weird thing is that she starts experiencing weird things because, they can't really afford the whole procedure. So he starts doing the dumb and dummies, doing dares for money. It's like real life Twitch, but a little bit more twisted because, life ain't sweet. Next thing you know, they can't really keep up with the payments, and it's sad to know, but he keeps trying to go live and do crazy things, but it's not enough. And sadly, they fall into a pit where she has this new procedure, like this pro version, but it just doesn't stick. He ends up getting exposed, and his work, at the end of the day, he gives her the best he can, but it just doesn't really work out. So look, recapping this whole episode, we're gonna go over a couple of Easter eggs that kind of connect this episode with a lot of things that happened in previous seasons. So let's take a look at what's going on. So we clearly see that she has some type of brain tumor or cancer, that it's affecting her, and she needs this procedure done. So this private company, comes and offers him this to save his life, and it saves his wife's life pretty much. We see this little Easter egg, the Juniper. I see a lot of little Easter eggs in this episode for Juniper, and in the previous seasons when we saw Juniper, it pretty much signified the afterlife, where people choose the afterlife and go, instead of choosing the regular way of going to heaven, they choose their own heaven produced by humans. And I feel like this is foreshadowing what is to come for that technology. This could have been the first steps of the technology, pretty much explaining, hey, before we got to the pretty much afterlife of human created heaven, we were kind of recreating human anatomy after, it was pretty much a backup. So in a way, the way they explain this whole mind thing in the episode, it's like she's still alive, but it could be a backup of her. So in this whole thing, she could have been already dead, and this could have been a whole backup. But it's crazy to think about it. We also see how they explained how this works. This little implant pretty much gives a signal, and to the signal gives to the tower, and the tower gives the signal back to the brain. So it does have a radius, just like a cell tower, like when you have a phone, when there's some areas that don't have really good data. Same thing here, which is kind of scary. But this could be the first steps into where, eventually we get Juniper, where the afterlife. And it pretty much shows the radius, and it's kind of like just a little block area of the city. It's not really the whole state. So for them to be even able to leave the state, they would have to upgrade. And on this episode, we really see how it pretty much signifies how real things work in real life. There's tiers to things, subscriptions. There's the basic standard subscription, there's the plus, and the extra premium. Nowadays, the plus is like having the standard subscription, and having the premium is like having the VIP thing. And it really shows here that they really couldn't afford it, and eventually, they just had to give up, and he ended up offing his wife. And it's kind of sad to see how this can really relate to real life, because the way things are going, everything is subscription. Netflix, Prime, Amazon, people are doing OnlyFans, Twitch streamers, people are getting donations to do crazy things. The thing with Johnny Somali, or whatever his name is, that's the Twitch streamer, he's doing crazy things for donations. We see a foreshadowing of this in this episode when he starts doing crazy things on live stream for his wife. And it's totally understandable, but it's kind of sad at the same time. Now, these Reverie Lux cards are mind-bending because they give you the extra time to have the premium access. So when you get a free trial, it's kind of like that, but they buy booster packs. So they pay, like, for example, maybe $200 to try the version instead of paying monthly $1,000. And before this whole episode, it started off with one of them, and now at the end of the episode we see that this was the way that she could be extremely happy and back to fully normal in a way, because without paying the subscription, she would not be able to afford the regular life and the regular mindset that a regular person would have. And it's just sad to see that it really foreshadows in the real world. If you don't really have the money to buy Netflix or Prime or other cool subscriptions, you're not gonna get the luxury of living a regular life. And it's crazy how they really nailed it on the coffin when it comes to that. And it's just crazy to see how this is definitely connecting to previous seasons of Black Mirror and where this technology could go. I think this is a foreshadow of what Juniper's technology will become. This might be for example, a beta program for what eventually Juniper will become for people that have money and can afford it. But guys, I'm pretty curious to find out what's your theories and questions for season 7 episode 1, The Common People. I'm pretty curious to find out how you guys like this episode. Are you guys liking the first episode of the season or not really? I am gonna break down every single episode of Black Mirror. I'm pretty much breaking them down right now as I watch them, and we're gonna pretty much see any Easter eggs as well. Don't forget, I am gonna come out with another series for the lore, and you get it. But for now, just stick around. Really means a lot to me. As always, I'm MrNova. Thank you guys for watching. Really means the world to me. But as always, MrNova, and I'm out. Peace.